Example 4 is graphical, and so we know that in order to write the equation of this line, it's easiest to be able to find the slope and the y-intercept and write directly into slope-intercept form. Well, the y-intercept is pretty straightforward here. We see that this graph crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 1, and so we know that our value for b is just going to equal to 1. But we still want to find our value for m, which is the slope of this line. And so remember, for graphs, in order to determine the slope, we will look at the rise divided by the run. And so if we start at our y-intercept and look for another nice point on the graph of this linear function, we're going to find another nice point right down here at this particular point right here, which just happens to be 2 and -4 for its coordinates. So at this point, you could either use the slope formula or you could just use the graph to count what the rise and the run are. The rise is going to be going down, so down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so my rise is going to be down 5 or -5. And then from that point right here, we're going to go over 1, 2 for a run of 2. And so my value for m, my slope, is going to be -5/2. Therefore, we can write this straight into slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, by just replacing m with -5/2, don't forget the x, and b with a +1. At this point, we want to get rid of the fraction, and so we see a fraction in the denominator right here. We see a 2, and so we're going to multiply this entire equation by a 2 so that we can eliminate that fraction. 2 times y is going to give us 2y equals to -5/2 times 2. You can either use your calculator or your mental math skills to know that that's -5x. And then finally, 2 times +1 is going to give me +2. The very last thing to do here is to notice that we need to move our -5x right here to the left-hand side. And so to do that, we will add 5x on both sides of this equation. And so on the left-hand side, we will have a +5x plus a 2y is equal to, our 5x's on the right cancel, and that will just equal to +2. Again, notice that my value for a, or my coefficient in front of x, is positive, and so that's how I know that I'm finished writing this equation in standard form.